Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of State of Survival with StickyFang Gaming. And today's episode is going to be the second part of the Q&A questions 11 through 20 for the most frequently asked questions for state versus state. Now, before I begin, I have two quick announcements. One, I have a bunch of videos on deck that I'm working on, so apologies that it takes a little bit of time for me to get them out. It takes a lot of time to edit these. But yeah, I have a lot of content coming up for you very soon, so stay tuned for that. And then number two, a quick shout out to Meathead in State 11 from the Alliance Legion. Happy birthday today, man. We really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great birthday. So now with that out the way, let's go ahead and get into question number 11. What HQ do I need to be to participate in state versus state warfare stage? So this is kind of a two-part question, sort of, not really. So to participate in the state versus state warfare stage is any HQ if you want to stay in your state. However, based off of this mail that we got from the actual event, greetings, Chief. We've entered the warfare stage of state warfare. The stage will last for 2 days, during which chiefs with the HQ level 16 or above can invade the enemy state. And then it goes on with more information about when the capital will be open and how you can find more details and etc. etc. But long story short, the answer to the question is if you want to invade an enemy state, you have to be HQ level 16 or above. So keep that in mind. Question 12. How can you tell enemies from allies in the enemy state? This one's pretty easy to answer as well. They make it very evident the difference between enemies and allies. So as you can see here, red are going to be enemies, and it says invaders typically. So this is when you have the settlement, or when you have the capital, it'll say invaders. And then for settlements, it'll just have the invader on the actual settlement. And then for allies, people from your state, it'll have the blue, and it'll say expedition troops, which just means that these are people from your state who came over. And so expedition is like, they journeyed from a different state, and then they're friendlies. And it'll say that on the actual capital and on the settlements for expedition troops. So now into question 13. Can you use the enemy states chat? So actually, yes, you can use the enemy states chat, and it's actually one of my favorite features of state versus state, because you can just go in there and you can not only use their chat, but you can use their speakerphone too. So as you can see on the screen, I did this, and I was like, say hello to YouTube, and I thought it was pretty cool. You can have conversations, like let's say you're attacking someone's hive, you can like talk crap to them too in their state chat, and you can see like who's from your state and then who's from theirs. And I just thought it was fun. I enjoyed that feature. So on to question 14. Can you shield while you're in the enemy state? And the answer to that is absolutely. You can 100% shield in the enemy state. And then here's some footage from the actual event. And as you can see, there are some people who have the expedition troops title on their settlement, and they are shielded. So that's good news, because if you were crossing over and you couldn't shield, it would probably be a bad day for you because you just get zeroed. So shielding is a vital strategy, and you can 100% use that during the warfare stage of state versus state. So now for question 15. What happens if an alliance from my state is holding a tower, but my alliance is holding the enemy capital as well? Will they still fire on me? So I don't have any actual proof of this because I didn't screenshot it happening or record it, unfortunately. But you will get hit by the tower still. So even if an alliance from your state is holding the towers and your alliance is holding the capital in the enemy state, it'll still act like it's a state versus state event. Yes, that's absolutely true. But the alliances are still going against each other. So if your alliance isn't holding all 4 capitals, you'll get hit by the tower, or all 4 towers. You'll get hit by the tower that you aren't holding. So keep that in mind. So that may play into your strategy a little bit when it comes to making a mega alliance or making a bunch of smaller alliances that goes off and fights the enemy. It might be better, I guess, in that sense, to make a mega alliance. That way you're holding all 4 towers and the capital. Again, it's up to you. We're still kind of iffy on the whole strategy portion of that, and yeah, I digress. On to question 16. How can I see the BP of the battle power of settlements in the enemy state? And it's pretty easy. It's the same as like if you were doing it in your state or any other way. You just click on whoever you want to see for their battle power. So I'll click on this random guy here, and then you click on info, and it shows you his battle power. And it's just as simple as that. So if you see like a 3-star or something like that, and you want to know his battle power, click on him, click on info, and then you'll see everything that you want to know. Question number 17. If I get burned in the enemy state capital area, will I get ported back to my own state? And the answer is no, you will not get ported back to your own state. This happened to me when I took the capital for state 3, and they burned me, and I got ported randomly within state 3, and all I had to do was port back into the capital area of state 3 using a normal port instead of using one of the state ports. And it's simple as that. So no, you won't go back to your state. You'll just get ported to a random area and have to come back. And so moving on to question number 18, how often will state versus state happen? And so initially we all thought that state versus state would take over capital clash, but we now know that that's not the case, and this makes a lot more sense. So state versus state seems to be an offset of capital clash. So one set of 2 weeks you'll do capital clash. Then the next set of 2 weeks from that point will be state versus state. And that way, let's say you win the preparation stage for state versus state, whoever is the alliance that won that previous capital clash will still hold their capital. But then the following event after state versus state, you'll get another capital clash. That way, your state can go ahead and remove that alliance from the capital and put in a new alliance for the capital for whoever you want to have it if you win the preparation stage for state versus state that following time, if that makes any sense. If you need me to clarify or if that kind of confused you a little bit, hit me up and I'll kind of explain it more in detail. It's a little bit hard to explain, but it makes a lot of sense. So no, state versus state won't take over capital clash. It'll happen in rotations. It'll be this set of 2 weeks will be capital clash. The next set of 2 weeks will be state versus state, and so on and so forth. Question 19. How many troops can I get back that I lost in the recovery stage? So for state versus state, I didn't get to use any of this troop revival stuff or really get to use the recovery stage simply because I didn't lose that many troops. So this information that I'm about to give is just straight from the rumor mill from what people have told me who also did participate in state versus state. So for these revival kits, I was told that if you use all of these, which these kits by themselves will increase your revival rate up to 9.999%. And then if you also use this other item here, let me pull it up, the requesting assistance. So sending assistance to allies and sending them to alliance. And it says you can push it up to 50%. But I was told that if you use this, the revival kits, and there's some other features that I didn't really get to really look at. If you use everything at your disposal during the recovery stage, you can get up to 90% of your troops back, which is pretty amazing. So I guess that's also if you use the enlisted office as well and whatever else they have available for you. I don't have too much information about this. So yeah, up to 90% of your troops that you lose during state versus state, you may be able to get back. So if you do some quick math, out of 1 million troops, you can get 900,000 of them back. That's pretty great. That means a lot of people won't quit the game if they get zeroed. So kudos to the developers for making this fairly easy for us to get our stuff back after we put our heart and soul into an event. And so now the last question I have today, and this question comes from a recent update that came out into the game, is with the optimization that was just released, does this now mean I cannot attack settlements that are within alliance borders? And so if you didn't know, I'll go ahead and post the update that was just sent out last week in the game, and I'll let you go ahead and read it really quick, and I kind of go over like what this question may mean and what my thoughts on it are, and then go from there. So as you can tell, I'm mostly referring to the state warfare optimization. Not using the buffs, that's not a huge deal, but the alliance territory thing. So If you look in the Alliance Territory tab and the Alliance tab on your main screen, you can see that the territories are considered towers, headquarters, and then special buildings. So the question that is brought up is, does this mean we can't attack those buildings anymore, which is okay? Or does it mean we can't attack settlements within the border? So as you can see here, just showing the update announcement again, and then now going back into like my main screen, I'm gonna show you what the borders look like. So going back into the territory. So again, this is what is classified as Alliance territory. This is when you click on it, this is what it says it is. And unfortunately, one of the things it talks about is like the inside of the borders are considered Alliance territory. So that's kind of concerning if they mean like we can't attack within those borders. Because in my alliance by itself, like our borders are kind of big, you know, we've used up all of our towers except for one. Look at all this space, you know, and we can even expand it if we wanted to. We could build more. And does this mean that everything within these borders are safe? If so, that kind of defeats the purpose of the warfare stage being a sort of kill event, because you won't have many things to kill. Most people sit within their alliance borders. I get that you're trying to discourage people getting zeroed and whatnot. That makes complete sense. I 100% understand that. But for kill event, I mean, right now for kill event within your state, you can attack people's hives and stuff. So for state versus state, and if it's a kill event and a warfare stage, war means that if you don't shield up, we should be able to come and attack your hive, even if you're within alliance territories or whatever's the case. I don't agree that you shouldn't be able to attack HQs. I 100% agree with the developers on that. Like HQs and alliance buildings should be off limits. So that can be a strategy for people, as in they can send their troops to those buildings if they want to be protected. But their actual settlements should be free to hit, even if they're within their alliance borders. So I don't have a clear answer on that one. I won't know the answer for that until maybe I hear back from a friend of mine, or until we actually get the state versus state event with these new changes and we can test it ourselves. But I'm really hoping that it's not the case where we can't hit settlements within alliance borders, because that would really take away a big fun factor when it comes to this event. So that was your state versus state questions 11 through 20. I know I owed you guys this part 2 of the video for like a week now. It was supposed to be done like a day after my first video, but I got super busy. But as always, I really appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you watch more of my videos. I hope that you join the official State of Survival's Discord, which I will put in the description of this video. It's an awesome place. You have some great moderators who know a lot about the game that are waiting to help you out. And you can meet other people from your state and just have a good time. And then before I go, I do owe a couple shout outs for a challenge that I presented. So Don Flacco, Max Loop, Kudo1, and then S55.bbc.pentagolatus. I totally butchered your name, bro. But, you know, this is my personal shout out to you guys. It really sucks that your troops heal numbers were super high, but, you know, congratulations on getting shouted out on YouTube. So, awesome. I appreciate you guys. If you like the video, you know, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on State of Survival with StickyFang Gaming.